I'm going to take this pipe, drill some holes. I'm going to drill a hole in this. This is going to fit inside. I'm going to take the other cap, put it on the other end, and get this set up. Making a forge. How to make forge. Alright, now I'm using, this is gas pipe, black pipe. You could use galvanized, as far as I know. And we're going to do some holes. Alright. And what are you going to do with these break discs? That's the question. These metal plates. Okay. Now, today we are going to be, boy, that's a face shot, working on the knives I made on this forge that I created. Alright. So let me take this off of Zoom. Yeah. Alright, now let me show you the knife I created with this forge. I have some footage of it, but my internet was really bad, and so it didn't really show the actual blade that I created, which I'm really frustrated about. So I'm going to show you these knives, and let's do it. These are what I created. Now I'm going to be putting an edge. There's an edge on it that I created with the belt sander, and I shaped them with the belt sander. I fine-tuned the shape, and I'll continue to fine-tune it and then put some edges on these blades and give them a more of a factory type edge. Alright, so here we go. Alright, now, alright, this is one of the blades. This is my second blade that I created. Alright, and I'm working this top of this edge. Alright, right there. Now we've got this handle on it, so that way you can cut the length you need, and putting it into that forge, you're going to need some length to keep your hand away from the heat. Alright. Thank you for being here, Kenneth. The farm. Alright, so there's the one blade. Okay. And this is my second knife. This is the third knife I've ever made, but on a forge, it's my second knife I've ever made on a forge. This was the first knife, and I'll be working this edge. Alright, now I have my stones right here. I have some files, okay, I'm going to be using. I'm going to show you the forge in action here. Alright, there's the forge. Alright, this is us making, still developing the forge. Okay, you can find this on my channel. Alright, we're using, that right there is a plasma cutter. And that plasma cutter did just about all the work for this forge. Alright, it did the cutting, everything. Alright. And that's the plasma cutter right there. It's a little inexpensive one. It takes an air hose. Alright. Now, so let's get to working on this blade. And I may show you more of that video, but you can definitely go to my channel and check that out. Okay, now I'm going to take this blade. I'm going to set this blade in here about like this. Alright, where I can work that edge. Okay. So, let me get everything positioned here where you can see what I'll be doing and how I'm going to be doing it. Alright. And get this in a better position. It's a little cold outside, so I thought I'd bring it in. It's about after 5 o'clock my time. Okay. Now, so I'm going to reposition this over here. Alright, so you can see what I'm doing. Let me get zoomed in here. Appreciate you being here, Ken. All right. Now, you'll be able to see how I'm going to work it. All right. Now, this was the first one. This was the first blade. And I have a video. This was being worked on. Me and a buddy actually started. He started it and I finished it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take this edge this way right here, get it at a good angle for working. All right. Now, so let's get this up here. Okay. There we go. Okay, getting it set up, bear with me. Okay, now let's zoom in there. Now you should be able to see what I'm doing well. Okay, so I'm going to start out. Okay. Now I'm going to work this from here forward, all right? So let's get a mark on it. Okay. And get it over here. And this is, you're recognizing that I'm using a chainsaw file right here. All right, a chainsaw file is great. And this is a soft metal, all right? And this way I can get the concave in here that I'm looking for. All right, you can't get the concave that I want with the flat file, all right? The flat file won't do it. But this will allow me to work this edge real well, okay? Because I want it curved. I want this part, I want to curve up to this point in here. All right? Kind of like what I have in this section here. I want that same basic look, okay, on this other blade. All right? Thank you for being here. Okay, so I'm going to create this type of an edge on the top on this blade here. Okay, and I wouldn't be able to do that with a flat file. Okay. So I'm working this part of the knife, this edge. And I'm coming down in at an angle so that it will cut in. All right, and so as I cut in, I'm coming up towards the tip. So it gives it the swoop, all right? Gives it that curve that I wouldn't be able to get with the flat file. All right. Now I'm going to leave the pits in the blade so it looks handmade. I want that handmade look. All right. A lot of guys will polish their blades down to perfection and it'll look like it's store-bought when they make their knives. You know, and they take a lot of pride, and I don't blame them. That's a lot of work to make these finishes store-bought. I mean, bright and shining. Like a new penny, you know. They really put a lot of effort into making these blades look store-bought. Well, I want my blade to look like I put it in a fire and used the forge. And I want it to have that forged finish look. Okay. I think it's going to look really rugged. It's going to look sort of like Damascus. It's kind of have that Damascus look, okay? And so that's what I'm shooting for, so I'm going to leave it. I'm learning how to heat treat. I don't know much about it yet, but I'm going to be learning how to heat treat. Sprinkle donut forge. That's a type of forge. Well, there's a YouTube friend that's forging, and his channel name is Sprinkle Donut Forge, and he really goes the extra mile to explain what he's doing, how to do it, how to accomplish what you're trying to do, and a really good guy. And so check out Sprinkle Donut Forge. This guy is the master as far as I'm concerned. He is really good, and he really does go the extra mile to show you how to forge, what to do, what's going on, and he really does. He takes the time to explain it. And there's some other guys that will do the same, but he's been a YouTube supporter here on my channel for a few years, and he's really a good guy, and great channel to learn from. And if you put him in the YouTube search, Sprinkle Donut Forge, you will see his channel. He'll come up. His name is James, and he's from Texas. He'll tell you when he starts his channel. He'll tell you the town. I forget the town at the moment. But anyway, so that's Sprinkle Donut Forge, where you can really learn some about forging and what it takes in order to make it happen. And you might surprise me and show up in the chat, maybe. That would be cool. I haven't gone live for quite some time. Well, I went live Christmas, and I had a terrible signal Christmas. That's when I made these blades. I made my second blade Christmas, and went live, but my signal was terrible. I'm going to show you the progress I have on this right now in just a minute. Okay. Because we're getting it. Okay, now I'm also cutting that convex into it, taking down the edge I just created. Okay, I brought it up, made it thin. I thinned out the metal here, and now I'm taking it out so I will get the concave I'm looking for. All right, get that curved right here at the tip. It's what I'm doing. So I drew it out and made it thin. Now I'm knocking that off so I can get the curve I'm looking for. Then I'll sharpen it. Okay? All right, now there might be another way of going about this, but it's what's making sense to me. And it's working really well. And you don't want to take too much from the tip because you lose the integrity and the strength of the steel, all right? So I'm going to keep all that in mind too. And this is only like a 3/16 thick 1/8 inch thick steel. Okay, and it's a mild steel. It's a good starter steel. Okay, because I'm learning. And James was telling me that this mild steel, when you heat treat it, it doesn't, when it cools off, it doesn't harden. And that makes it a really good steel to work with, especially when you're learning. Okay. Now I'm doing two things here. I'm taking this down, and I'm also thinning it out. All right. So I'm creating a slight angle edge on it, as well as taking out the center to give it the curve here. All right. So this is accomplishing two tasks for me. Okay. All right. I'll show you this in just a minute. I want to kind of get it closer to what I'm looking for before I show you. Okay. Using my finger as a gauge. As a support to the file. Okay. You know, I wish I could do a time lapse on this, but that's just not a reality. I'd like to speed up the process here. Okay, now I'm going to take the flat file and work it. I've got a high spot here I'm taking down. Okay, I got that high spot worked out, just about. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. All right. All right, now let me show you here what I've got. Okay, now, what are you able to see? All right, now you can see here. All right, I'm going to take off this little tip right at this point. All right, and then the blade is going to round up and stop right there. Okay, but that's how it's looking so far. This is a slow process. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for being here. And my second video shows the knife being made. Okay, I'll see if I can't bring that up here and show you. Okay, I'm cutting through, as you see. Now, there's a little piece right there. All right. Now, I'm going to work it back. Now, on the belt sander, I worked this blade on the belt sander, and it's much faster. And I thought I was getting the footage, but my internet was terrible and wasn't working. So there isn't any footage of that. Okay, now you can see it taking shape. I'll show you here in just a minute. All right, I'll show you how this is coming now. Okay, we're doing this all on an incinerator. And now you can find Joe McIver on YouTube. That's out of town. This hasn't worked for a while. Off-grid. Slow down. I'm going to show you some new setup. Much better. More efficient. Go ahead and bring up the other one. Okay, now let me show you. Yep. Let me show you here how this is now coming. All right, you can see that angle. Now it's taking shape. All right, I still want to hollow this area out a bit, right in here. Okay. Now, there's the knife. There's the hook I made, a wall hook for a tool hanger. All right, and a blade. I'll show you some more footage of that as we go. All right. All right, today, all right, this is the nail that I made that wall from. It looks almost like a hook, a fishing hook for a whale or a shark or something. All right. So let me show you that wall hook. Here's the wall hook I made. Right here. tool for a tool hanger. That was a nail. How you like that? Pretty cool. I'm going to drill a hole up here and a hole over here. I'm going to mount it to the wall, and I'll hang a crescent wrench or something on here. It'll be my tool hook. How cool is that? And there it is. All right. So stay tuned, and I'll be showing you updates on the video. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this blade up a little more. All right, there we go. Okay. All right. Now you can see it. All right, now I'm going to draw this edge out. I'm going to curve this. This is going to get a curve. Like this has the curve. Okay, it has a slight curve in it. All right, you see that? That's what I'm shooting for. I'm going to leave it looking like this, beat up, so it looks like it's been made by hand. Okay. Now, I've made 3 knives in my life, and this is the first knife with the forge, this being the second knife with the forge. All right. Okay, now, you know what this is? Well, this is a chainsaw, chain file. I'm going to use it here. So I can get that shape I'm looking for. Now, I did the other one on my belt sander, and it was very quick. But with the belt sander, you're losing the art of knife making, because you can shape it so quickly. You can actually mess it up if you're not careful. With the belt sander, when you're using a belt sander to shape your blade, you really gotta be careful, because it will shape that blade or ruin it really quick. So remember that. It's your best friend or not. Because it'll destroy it if you're not careful when you're using a belt sander. But practice makes perfect. There's always a way, always. Now, a lot of guys will take a pattern and lay it on the metal, trace it out, and this is all by hand, all by eye. I haven't used any markings, just all by sight. Okay. So I'm kind of cutting this in here at this angle. Alright, as I'm working this edge. Now, I've never seen anybody use a round file for shaping. It's just what makes sense to me. So I'm using this round file. Like I said, I've only made one knife by hand. And you can put this in a drill press, or a drill press, and it'll cut much faster. But I'm in the house and I don't want to swing this metal everywhere, right? And I've got cardboard underneath, and I'll be using a vacuum to get up all the little metal dust that's here. Okay. All right, I'm starting to get that look I'm looking for, but I want it back here at this point. Actually, right in here. Okay, and here. I've got my finger on the back side, all right, kind of holding it where I want it. As I'm sighting down, looking from the back, from behind it. Okay. I'm cutting into this edge right here. As I'm curving it back, I'm cutting into that edge. Okay. All right, I just cut through on that side. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same here. All right, so there we have it there. Okay. When it laid back at an angle on that edge. Okay. So I'm catching this back at an angle. Trying to keep them the same by sight. All right, now okay, I want to use this triangle file for getting in here. Okay, to get this at that angle. Okay, here we go. This little triangle file is perfect for this. If you don't have a triangle file, you could literally use this. All right, kind of lay it in there. It's not, you don't get this quite the same angle, but you could still work it even if you don't have the triangle file, and that's why I'm showing you this here. Okay. Now, you could do this and create a hollow ground, make it a hook where it cuts here, right? And if you were to do that, I would take this backing off, right? And you continue just to come in here and to cut away. And come in here and continue to cut away coming in. So you form this half circle on the inside that then would be hollow ground when you were finished. All right. And I'll show you before I can remove this. Okay, so you get the idea. Unless you already get it now. All right. So I'm thinking you're seeing what I'm talking about. All right. Thanks for being here. Okay. One moment, please. Okay, now, as you're seeing, making the simplest knife can take time. All right. So, I'm going to go back to this triangle. I just wanted you to see that the triangle, if you don't have a triangle, you can still work it. Okay? Now, I'm going to continue to work this. All right. Now, I'm going to go outside and put this round file on my drill bit, on my drill, and just grind that out real quick, or on my table, on my belt sander, but I gotta resist that temptation. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to work this here. Okay. I'll have to do another video where I'm shaping a blade with my belt sander. Okay. I'm gonna have to do that. Well, thank you, Ken, for being here, for your support. RG Homestead, thanks for being here. Longer, but should be come out nicer. Yeah, it should come out nicer there, RG. Most definitely. All right. So, thanks for being here, RG Homestead. We did a collab on seasoning our cast iron skillets. And he'll tell you I lost, and I'll tell you he lost. So it's a draw. We had fun doing it, and it was a great collab, and I really enjoyed it. And that's in my playlist, and he has it too on his channel. And we had a lot of fun doing that. How to season cast iron. Okay, as I'm taking this down, RG has an off-grid channel. We just put up some solar, and has a video on putting up his solar, hooking up his electrical, RG Homestead. And don't forget Sprinkle Donut Forge. He's a forger, and I've watched his channel for a while now, and he really goes the extra mile to share and explain what he's doing and how to do it. And he has a very good channel, And he really does. He takes the time to help you understand what you're doing, how to do it, understand what he's doing. And that Sprinkle Donut Forge. And if you look for him in the YouTube search, you will find him. Okay. So thanks again to RG Homestead for being here. Kenneth, the farm. I guess I should have titled this Learn With Me. Okay. As you see, we're getting the shape. Now this is a half round. All right. This will work well for shaping this here. And this will put the final shape on it because this has got this moon. It's partly rounded, all right. Convex, what should I say? It's perfect for working this. And this is a mild steeler. I wouldn't be able to do this. It would take a lot more work. All right, now it's doing its thing. All right, let's get this down here. We'll take some of that vibration out. All right, we're gonna get her up in here like this. All right. Now let's see. All right, let's get this a little more up close and more personal. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's how it should have been all this time. Just like that. Okay, now you can see the roundedness of this file now. I wish I could drop links, but I'm unable to drop links. But make friends, you know, check out each other's channels. I can't wait to heat treat, learn how to heat treat and heat treat this. Now, what the little bit of information that I've picked up so far is you heat treat, you can use olive oil, you can use canola oil, you can use motor oil. All right. And you want to warm up your oil. After you've put it in the oil, then you want to put it like in a little electric heater, like for bread. You know, those little electric ovens, and you put it in there for about 400 for about a half hour after you've quenched it. And from what I'm understanding, then you've got it heat treated. But what degree is it heat treated? What's the hardness of it? I don't know. You know, I don't know anything about it really. I'm just learning. This is just information that I've gleaned, I've pulled, but I really don't know much. Don't. But now you see this, all right? There it is. Okay. Oh, you can't see it. Now you can see it. Okay. Okay, now let me see if I can zoom in a bit. Is that too much? Trying to see what you're seeing. All right, now. Okay. I'll zoom out just a hair. All right, now. Okay. I will be polishing this, but I'm going to leave the roughness in this blade. So I really want it to have the hand-hewn, homemade look. Okay. And so I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to look really cool. So it looks like it's been hand forged, you know. So I'm putting and sharpening the tip of this here on the sides, right here on the edges. Okay. I'll be putting it on the sandpaper here in a minute. Then I'll be taking it from the sandpaper to the stone. Right now let's work this back side at the top. Okay. All right, there we go, right here. Here we are. Okay. I'm going to take this rounded part of it and I'm going to catch this over here. so it takes on the same shape. Now, if you can get ideas from what I'm doing and create your own, great. Okay? You might see something that I'm doing and you go, well, if you just did it this way or you did it that way, you come up with this. You come out with that. But this way, you get your brain going, get your mind working, and you know, you start formulating your own knife design. All right, I'm shooting from the hip on this knife. Totally shooting from the hip. Okay. But if you take a look at this knife in the beginning and what it looks like now, you see it's changing and it's transforming and becoming quite different than what you were seeing to begin with. Okay, so if you go look back at the beginning, you'll see what it looked like then. And you see how it's shaping up now. Okay, and this still can go in many different directions actually. And this rounded, concaved area will give it more of like a hollow ground cut in the middle. So this edge here will be more like a hollow grounded edge. Okay. Okay, here we go. Yes. See, I've got the hollow ground on there. I'll show you this up close and personal in just a minute. All right, now to get that same basic angle. Okay. All right. Let's work this a little bit more. right, now we're going to get this side. Okay. All right, hold on 1 second. I'm going to show you the end results of what this is looking like right here. All right, let's unchuck this. All right, now look at what we've got. Okay. So far, all right. We've just begun. Now, that's a good start on that blade. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this, I'm going to work this now. Just work the sandpaper here for a minute. Put the sandpaper down. Okay, you're going to hold your angle the same. You want to get a feel for it in your wrist and position of your hand. And you want to hold it at that same angle. All right, and you want to work it. Now let me show you this edge. I put this edge on here with the belt sander. All right, that's just a quick rough edge that I put on this with the belt sander. All right. Now we're going to refine, we're going to work this edge. Okay. I'm knocking off the burrs from the belt sander is what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, we're knocking off the burrs. Okay, let me show you the differences now. This blade was worked a little bit more on the belt sander than the other one. Okay, but you can see, if you look along the edge, you can see the little burrs, all right, of metal that are still here. All right, and little jagged edges. Okay. And so I'm knocking them off. All right. Okay, so that's what I'm knocking off. So here, same. Okay, and that's all we're doing is we're just knocking off, okay, the burrs. All right. Now I'm going to take a look at this blade. Okay, I'm dropping my angle, and I'm dropping the angle. Okay, now I'm going to bring on my rough stone. This is a fire brick, actually, and this is a piece of marble. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how how this knocks off. And begins to hone the blade. Okay, now let's take a look at the difference of this blade. Okay. You don't see it's not jagged, all right? There's no burrs on it. Okay. Now let's take a look at this one. This one had burrs really bad. All right. You can still see them, but let's put it on the stone. This looks a little better after being on the sandpaper, of course. Now let's put it on the stone and see the difference it's going to make when we take it off the stone here. All right. Now when I'm sharpening, I like to do a 3-angle sharpening on my blade. Okay, which I'm not doing at the moment. We're just gonna look at this. edge here in just a minute. Okay. Now you can see where the blade is now being honed. All right. And it's much smoother now, okay? It's taking shape. Now, all the pitting in this blade I'm going to leave. Okay, I want it to have that rustic, homemade look. Okay. Now, that's for that. Now, if I was to do my 3-angle process, I would bring this blade up at about a 5 degree, where I'm just working this edge, the cutting edge itself. All right, at about a 3 degree, 5 degree angle. Then I would come up to about a 15 degree, and then up to about a 40 degree, 35 degree, and get right down on this edge. Okay, so it'd be like about a 5 to a 3 here, then maybe to about like a 15, and then more like about a 30 roughly, 25 degree, where I'm right on top of this edge here, the cutting edge itself. That would be the 3 angles. And I might even give it a 4th angle where this is up maybe a degree up off the surface, so it just barely floats about above the top of the blade. The top of the blade barely floats up from your sharpening stone. All right, but we're not doing that. But if I was going to do that, I'd hold it about like this. I'd lock my wrist in place, and then I would just work and hinge at the elbow. Okay, you hinge at the elbow when you do this. All right. Now, while I'm working this is just working the blade, just getting the blade into the condition you're wanting it before you fine tune it, okay? And that's why I'm working the blade the way I am presently. On the forge, when I was making this blade, at the end I was driving, pounding on this blade from about this point where my thumb is all the way back, and from about from here down all the way across the blade. All right, when I was working it and getting its shape. All right, I was using the first 2/3 basically of the blade, from half here to about 2/3 here, from about my thumb down, the area I was pounding and working it, all right, to kind of stretch out the blade, draw it out, okay? So here I'm just working the blade itself, and at this point you do that, it's what you want to do. You get it nice and flat. Okay, I believe I will put a polish. I will polish this, but the dings are going to remain. Okay, I'll probably put an oak handle on this. It'll have a nice oak handle when I'm done. Okay, now let's get back to the file work. And here's the hook that I made out of a nail. Isn't that pretty cool? And I just sprayed this with poly. This was just part of a tree, just a log I had. And I really liked the wood grain, so I cleaned it up and used it. That's all it is. All right. Now, I don't have too much filing to do at this point. Okay. Basically, I've got it really close to where I want it. And I'm going to use this right here. Just really work this edge. Okay, got a slight angle, maybe like about a 3-degree angle on here. Okay. Now I have another channel. It's going to have random videos. Okay. It's called EZ, letter E, letter Z, random 1. Easy random 1. And that has a few videos. That I have a walking stick out here that was on my porch the other morning, and I had to videotape this walking stick. It's not something you see every day. I think some people have never even seen a walking stick. Think I'm talking about a cane, but it's a real bug. Looks like a limb on a tree almost with legs. Okay. Right, this blade is really close. Got a few more things to do. All right, we want to groove this out right here. Okay. Now again, if I had this on a drill, I could cut this out really quick. All right, it would make it for a quick work to accomplishing it if I had it on a drill. But do be careful. Okay, a drill, this chainsaw round file would cut this out really quickly. All right, it's kind of doing it, but I'm not liking. Now I'm looking for my file. Okay, we're going to come in here with this file here for the moment. Get this angle established. Okay. Right here. All right, now we're going to get that angle established right here. I could take a jigsaw and I could cut this out right here. And that would be quick. But what if you don't have a jigsaw? What are you going to do? And if I didn't have this triangle file, what would I use? I would use the edge right here like this. Okay, I would come in here and I'd start cutting this edge. Just like this. Alright, and this is how I do it. Okay. Now you want to get a crosscut file because the crosscut file cuts in both directions, alright? Because this is not a crosscut file, so this is really the way you want to do this in one direction. Get the cutting direction. And how you know it's a cutting direction, you feel resistance when you slide it across your material. Now if you notice, it slides to my right real easy and goes to my left, there's resistance. Let's see. Okay. So it's resistance to my left. Back, there's no resistance. But the crosscut will cut left and right, and it'll look like X's where the file lines will have like X's going through it because it cuts in both directions, and that's how you know. If you don't know. All right. This is going to be a steel blade. One of these days I'll have to make a buck knife or my own style of a buck knife and show you how to do that. I have my own little techniques for it. All right, now I've got that kind of notch there, which will allow me, I've got the angle I'm looking for right here in the back. Okay. If it wasn't so cold at this point, I'd probably take my jigsaw and cut this. And if I do, I will definitely let you know, but that would be like tomorrow. All right, now, let's get this round file going. This should take it down. Again, going to my left cuts. And it's just sliding out of view. I'm seeing some metal shavings build up there, so that's good. You can see the metal shavings right down in here. Okay, it's a powder. Now as I'm doing this, I'm pressing down and hard forward as I pull back, all right? And that's what I'm doing. All right, now I've got it somewhat started. All right, you can't really see it at the moment, but you will. All right, I got to bring this up, give myself some working room. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to take my round file and I'm going to work this area. What's nice about this is you can work this edge really quick, this upper edge. All right, that's what makes this round file so nice. Okay. You can shape it really well, really quick by comparison with the flat file. Okay. There's where I'm working. Okay, now let's work this side. Now, I'll show you this in just a second. Let's say this round file really makes a quick work of this by far. I'm working from this edge over to the other edge, which is curving it. All right, gives you, that's for your finger, all right? That's for your finger to go when you're holding your knife. Alright, now let me show you the progress that we're gaining here. Like I say, I may have to speed up the process because I have things to do and I don't want to take forever on this knife. Okay. See, this way is not really cutting. To the right doesn't really cut. Like Off the Burrs. Okay. All right. I'm catching out here and I'm rounding this edge over. All right. So I start here at about a 5-degree angle. And I bring it on around slowly and I keep turning it, which will round this edge over, all right? So come out here at about 5-degree, roughly, all right? And then I just keep turning the blade. Now I'm at a 90, and back on around, all right? At about a 5-degree. Or you can bring it right alongside your blade if you like and bring it all the way around. Okay. And thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience. Okay. So we can leave it right here alongside the blade. Okay, and bring it on back around. Working it. All right, not bad. Okay. But then I want more of a curve here. I want more of a curve so my finger will fit in when I'm holding the knife. All right. And so that means this is going to have to get rounded over, but curved, and then rounded over for my finger. And again, you can start out here flat, right on the side. And slowly turn, bring it all the way around to the other side and keep working it till it's rounded, okay? Now you can kind of see what's going on here, okay? So you can start. Now I need to raise this up to get more travel with my file because it's so close to the vise. I've got just a small amount of travel I can do with the blade, with the file here, all right? So you start up flat and you slightly turn it. Hold it there for a second or two. Bring it around a little more. All right. Keep working it. Bring it around some more. Come on around. All right, we're at a 90 degrees here. 90. All right. Now we're going to bring it up a little more. Bring it on around. And you want to just keep repeating the process until this is completely rounded. Like a bullnose, okay? If you was working wood or tile, you'd be calling this a bullnose, all right? But on a knife, we're just we're rounding the edge over, okay? Now you can come on this outer edge, all right? Put like a 15-degree angle on it and just file it at a 15 degree, right? And then come like at a 45-degree angle and work it at the 45, 15, 45. Okay, then you come over here to 90. Go back to a 45. Then to a 15, and then just bring it on around in line at a 180. All right. Now, you see how it's looking here. All right. Rounding. All right, now I could take sandpaper and I could work the edge with some sandpaper as well. Okay. And again, the same thing goes for here. All right, you can work this out at 15 degree. and at about a 45 degree, and at a 90. Same thing over here at about a 15 degree. Oh. We're frozen for some reason. All right, singing for the creator. Thanks for being here. So, eruption, my battery actually died, and I was able to restart it. So kind of let you see what I'm doing at the present time. Just working this blade a little more, okay. And the next, I like the style of this blade a little more so far. Okay, but I'm going to leave all this ruggedness on the blade. And where we left off is I was showing you how to round over this edge right here. All right, you can see where it's starting to round over a bit by hand, okay? It completely rounded over, and it's not quite there. Okay, and then I want to have more of a radius at this point. All right, it needs to be a radius like your finger, all right, to fit your finger. And so I'll probably end up cutting that in with the jigsaw. So we'll see. So thanks for being here, and I'll just kind of show you what I'm doing. So thank you for being here. Chat before I'm unable to see the chat. Is that singing for the creator just popped back in? Thanks for being here. Hope all is well. Hope you had a blessed Christmas. And so appreciate y'all being here. So let's get back to this. I just waiting to see a comment so I could respond to the comments while I'm looking at the chat. All right, so bear with me as I get this set up. All right, now, okay, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of working. King Highway, how's it going? All right, this is my third homemade knife, my first knife in a forge. All right, and this is my second knife in the forge. All right, now I'm just working the edges, and if you go back, I got to cut the handle in it. All right, like I've cut the handle off here, and so this one I'll be cutting when I'm finished this blade and blade where I want it. So this isn't even close to being done, just rough. Okay, and this one here, I've got to round out this for your finger. All right, this is where your finger is going to go. Here, the handle of the knife's going to go here. All right, so you're going to hold this knife kind of like this or like this, so your finger's going to be here. All right, so just to give you a heads up on that. Well, thank you, King Highway A, and Merry Christmas to you. All right, and this is a brick. Okay, I believe it's a fire brick they use for like in a kiln. All right, like a forge maybe. And we're just kind of working this because I'm going to take my jigsaw, I believe, and I'm going to get this radius. All right, so I'm going to do there. Okay. And when you're working your blade, you want to keep the angle, the distance from the back of your blade to your material the same. You can put your finger here as a gauge so that you keep it at that angle, all right? And then you get the same angle over here on the other side, and you're holding your finger, and your finger's actually the gauge that's keeping it at that angle, all right? And when you, by using the other hand on top, you're able to press down and transfer the resistance or the pressure down here on this edge so you can really cut and get that edge worked. All right, which I'll show you here in just a second. You want to kind of drag that tip right there at the end. All right, now see, you can see here where it was cutting. Okay, now you want the same on this other side. So you get about the same spacing distance over here, because this is your guide, remember, your finger is giving you the angle. All right. And I'm dragging this tip out, okay? That's what you're not seeing. I can hear it and I can feel it. All right. See, dragging it out. All right, now here's the other side. Okay, see, now you can see where this edge is being worked. Right here. All right, same as over here. You see they're pretty consistently the same. There's the edge being worked. There's the edge being worked. Using your finger as the spacing for the right angle for sharpening that blade. Now, as you refine this, you want to drop it down further, closer. All right, and you're just barely. This is up just barely, maybe 2 or 3 degrees up off of the stone. All right, and that works it further up on the blade. All right, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Now at this point, you can do this. All right. Now, let's see. All right, you can see where now we're working it higher. You can see where the metal is now shining here by my fingernail. And we're bringing it up, all right, to taper up. Okay. And that's the purpose of laying it down. It also gives you a stronger edge that will last longer and easier to sharpen as an end result when you go to resharpen it. I'm only doing this like this in the circles because I'm working this edge. That's all I'm doing is shaping and working this edge. All right. And we're going to show you what this is looking like here in just a second. Okay, see. There it is right there. You can see the grind line right here. Okay? There it is, and it's consistent. It's all consistent. Using your finger as your gauge, as your guide. All right, you get a feel for the space that you have on one finger, you would do the same thing on the other side, all right? And you switch sides. All right, so that's the side we just worked. Now, about the same way. All right, so now we're going to bring it to the other side and get it about the same way right there. Okay. See, I'm getting this edge right here. I'm getting this tip. Now to get that tip, you might have to bring your hand up, your arm up a little bit to get right down on that point, all right? So you go from here just up just a tad, and you can feel the transfer, and I can feel the tips on there with my finger. That tip is now touching. Okay? You see it's floating now. And that's why you got to tilt it up so you catch that angle. Now if you check it flat, it's flat. Okay? Well, just a hair up, but not bad. Is it the same on the other side? No. Yeah? Just a slight bend. I mean, just a little bit. All right? Versus this side. This side's better. So it has a slight bend, ever so slight. Let's look at it this way. It's almost undetectable. Almost. All right, so we're going to go ahead now and work this other edge. We've worked this edge, and you can see the difference between this edge and that edge. It's not quite the same, okay? Much nicer, but that's the difference that it makes. And that's why we're using our fingers as a gauge. Our finger as a gauge right here. That's your gauge, which it's writing on your stone, on the cutting surface. All right, going in circular motions works the blade. Takes off more material at one time. Now I'm getting the point. See? And now let's check this other side. How are we coming? How's it coming? All right. There, look at that. Okay, we're getting it. We're getting it right there. It needs a little more work, but we're definitely getting it right there. See? You can see it. All right, well, thanks for being here. Thank you for your time. I'll be doing another video update on the knife. I'll be putting oak blades on this. Oak handles on this, on these two knives. So thanks for watching. Easy 2 tips and tricks where you see everything up close and personal. Remember, tell a friend it's a win-win-win. And never give up, because there's always a way. Always. Now this angle of this blade has been put on by the belt sander. Now I've got to work it on the stone. All right, so you'll be seeing the development of these knives soon. Stay tuned. God bless and bye for now. And never give up, because truly there's always a way, always.